Hi, my name is Brennen Hogan, and today I will be covering Midigator in my business model canvas. So, a brief overview before we get into the canvas itself. Midigator is a software company which sells software that helps businesses solve payment disputes, and they look to fight fraud by controlling chargebacks. Chargebacks are the return of funds to a customer mainly through a credit card, and this is when the company has to return money which was taken from them. So this takes away from the bottom line of a company and it reduces the profits. So Mitigator's core value, their slogan is helping businesses get back to business. So companies look to hire Mitigator to outsource chargeback conflicts to them, and they look to focus on their own core competency. Their CEO, Corey Baggett, talked to us in class, and Midigator has around 60 employees at the moment. Now let's examine the business model canvas. So first starting with the value proposition, Midigator looks to supply its customers with value by effectively fighting fraud and improper chargebacks. They fight these chargeback claims at a higher rate than other companies, and they successfully receive the funds at a higher rate. They look to recover the revenue from the chargebacks, making the return on investment for people who use Mitigator higher. They also are unique in that they provide analytics and chargeback trends. So they provide these reports to their customers so they can see where these trends are coming from in terms of chargebacks. Are there certain credit card providers? Are there certain types of customers that are consistently doing this? And it is lower cost and effort than manually monitoring, as this is completely outsourced. The customer just has to leave Mitigator the responsibility of monitoring this, and they go from there. Mitigator also has real-time reporting and alerts, so it's customizable in terms of what the customer can see. So value propositions can oftentimes be broken down into pains and gains. So the pain which Mitigator looks to solve is managing a team to monitor chargebacks. They look to reduce the pain of these undetected instances of fraud, which take away from profits and the bottom line. And the gains of using their platform are that you outsource this whole process so you don't have to deal with it yourself. You gain understanding through their analytics and their reporting. They also have predictive mechanisms which can prevent future chargeback claims. And by having this automated process, the customer doesn't need to worry about dealing with these chargebacks, and they can have a higher return on investments due to the higher number of successful chargeback claims. Mitigator's customer segment is in the business to client space, and it is stores or retailers that process their payments with credit cards. So they specifically target online retailers and shops too, as these stores have almost exclusive online and credit card payments. So Mitigator plays in the B2C space. As for their channels, their website is the primary way which they can get their name out there, show what their product does, show how they're different than other people. They also they work to get their product in the face of the customer through these in-person installations, and they also have a client distribution network through some of their key partners, which we will discuss later. As for their customer relationship, this is an automated process, so the customer does not need to monitor these chargebacks, and they have these periodic check-ins or interactions with their clients through these reports and analytics which get sent to them periodically. Mitigator makes revenue through these monthly subscription fees for using the platform, and also they have a fee which customizes based on the solution. So based on the type of business, what you're looking for, they have different levels of fee and different levels of services that they can provide. As for their key activities, the main activity which Mitigator participates in is maintenance and development of their platform. So they need to constantly be updating their website, updating their scripts, making sure their database is maintained so that they can effectively analyze this data and prevent these chargeback claims. Additionally, another key aspect of their business is patenting and protecting their intellectual property. So they have patents over several of their methods and ways in which they can analyze this data. And by having this intellectual property, this prevents others from entering the space and copying exactly what they do. Their key resources go hand in hand with these key activities. This comes down to the software that they have and their platform. Additionally, they're technical experts and software engineers. And lastly, their intellectual property and patents. So they have a patent on the way that they use scripts to analyze the chargeback claims. And this is potentially one of the most important resources they have as it prevents others from easily entering the space and disrupting their business. Another one of the essential elements to Midigator's business is their key partners. So their first key partner are financial companies. So this could be as simple as a credit card provider. Since they are settling disputes which happen to deal with credit cards and the charges that are made, they need to work with these providers to settle these fraud claims and make sure the money gets back into the right hands. Additionally, they work with CRM software companies such as Connective, and they integrate the Midigator platform into the Connective business. So these are the client distribution networks that I discussed earlier in the channel section that help Midigator get their name out there. So clients of Connective are encouraged to use Midigator because of this partnership. And that is one of the key ways that Midigator gets their name out there without having to advertise or really sell themselves a ton. As for their cost structure, it's pretty typical for a lot of software companies. Their main cost comes from their platform and developing to their platform, constantly updating it as they see fit. Also, they need to keep their servers and domain up. And lastly, they need to pay the salaries, the G&A, R&D, and so forth. And that was the Midigator business model canvas. Thank you for listening.